So Tony, you know me, I love secrets, but you know, what's this secret all about? What are you doing about what's happening to the police equipment?
Okay, what I'm doing is actually formed an organisation called Police Choice 2 years ago, and that's to gain employment rights for officers, as enjoyed by every other police officer in the European Union. That means they can actually do their job, which is serving the public, in a ethical manner, rather than activity which is distorted by targets.
So it's going to be of interest to serving police officers, is that right?
No, it's the public as well. I mean, unfortunately, the representative body for the Police Federation, is totally incapable of representing honestly what is occurring within the service. Incidentally, ACPO, the Chief Officers Association, are in that same position as well. They're refusing to admit that these continual police cuts and the changes to terms and conditions have resulted in reduced standards and absolutely reduced levels of service. This is actually evidenced on TV a couple of weeks ago with programmes called Policing Under Pressure, which looked at South Yorkshire a year ago. That actually exemplifies everything that's wrong about policing. You've got superb officers trying to make the unworkable workable, senior officers pandering to government targets, trying to master impossible budget demands, which is why all these police stations are being closed, to actually shore up the funding, and then politicians and the senior officers pretending to the public that crime is down, which is total crap.
Yeah, I watched those programmes, that was on BBC.
Yes.
I was really shocked by them actually, and on top of what you've been talking to me about, I'm really quite frightened as a citizen. So what you're saying is that Police Choice is going to be of interest to serving officers, but also to the public who want to preserve and protect the police force. But what about government? Are government going to look at the Police Choice website, do you think?
Well, first of all, dealing with politicians, I'd say factually that all the major parties have agreed with all these processes over the years. So they are actually part of the problem. The value for the public is they are able to sign some of the online petitions talking about policing, also for officers, and what they're able to find is actually some of the facts that's been hidden, which officers are too terrified to speak. Now, you may think that's an extreme statement, but I'll give an example which proves the culture. A couple of years ago, there was 2 officers in Manchester were murdered with grenades. Most people remember that. A sergeant in West Mercia Police got in touch with Richard Branson asking for help, so officers throughout the country could backfill officers in Greater Manchester Police who all wanted to go to those funerals. Richard Branson actually offered free travel. Now, a sane organisation would actually have commended that sergeant, instead of which he was actually charged with gross misconduct, misuse, absolutely disgusting, as Victor Meldrew probably would say. All right, absolutely appalling. He was charged with gross misconduct, misuse of social media by his force. Now, that is the culture of fear, which is why people don't know. I actually started Police Choice as a serving officer because these are lawful comments to make, and that has been backed up by the fact that we've got barristers from Matrix Chambers and we've got solicitors from Lee & Day in London who are actually behind this campaign, and members of the public can inform themselves, as can officers, about the validity and lawfulness of what is actually going on in their name that they've not voted for. Hello, I'm Tony Monday. 34 years I had the privilege of being a police officer, and I retired 2 years ago. I'm actually appalled at how the politicians of this country over the last 10 years have worked together to actually ruin the police service of this country, which is regarded worldwide as a superb organisation, which is actually staffed by really well motivated people, but has been absolutely ruined by politicians, which has had the unfortunate effect of meaning that the service that the good people of this country receive is absolutely dire, and officers are fed up with that situation not being known to the public because it's a secret that no one really wants to talk about, and I think it's about time that secret was aired.